Ladies and gentlemen, from Detroit, Michigan, America's light-duty truck capital, this is Target Trucks 1987 with your host, Jordan Rhodes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's very nice. Thank you. Welcome to Target Trucks. Now, in today's show, we're going to talk about the work pickups buyer. Now, that's people like the contractor, the farmer, the landscaper, all the men and women, that's right, women too, all the men and women across this country who use their pickups for work, like this contractor. Now, one day he's got 25 sheets of drywall in the back of that truck, and the next day he's hauling maybe 1,800 pounds of sand and cement, and he's pulling a mixer across a muddy construction site. Now, he needs a truck that can stand up to that kind of work, and for him it's a four-wheel drive. Okay, now, this farmer, he's maybe 15 miles from the farm to the feed store. Now, he goes in empty, but when he comes back, he's got about a ton of grain in the back of that truck. Now, he's interested in a truck that's going to give him a nice ride no matter what the load. Now, this lady, she's a landscaper. She bought her S10 about 4 years ago. Doesn't that truck still really look great today? And she lives in an area where corrosion is a real problem. Now, these are your work pickup buyers. Let's take a look at the trucks that they're buying. Okay, now, first of all, there's the full-size Chevy Pickup. Now, that's the most popular because it's got the widest range of payloads. Now, we have the S10 over here. That's a compact, but even though it's a compact, it can do a lot of full-size jobs. Now, we come to the special work pickups. Now, these are the ones that have a little extra interior room inside for things like expensive tools, things you don't want to leave laying around in your cargo bed. Now, this is the big dually crew cab with seating up to 6, and this is the S10 Maxi Cab with seating up to 4. Now, there are many models, a lot of payloads, a lot of different features. Not futures, a lot of different features. But what it all comes down to is that Chevy makes a truck for just about every job. Now, and it just so happens we have one over in the next studio. Let's take a look. Clean, sharp lines, aerodynamic. Chevys are good-looking trucks, all right. But work pickup buyers are interested in more than just a pretty face. They want to know about toughness, so you got to tell them about toughness. Now, they want to know if your truck can stand up to a heavy load. They want to know about durability. Now, if you want to sell a work pickup, you've got to tell them what's under the skin. Okay. Now, guys, when you finish with that, can you bring me a piece of that double wall out here, please? Now, Chevy trucks, they have some features that are similar. Things like double wall that help for the toughness. And this happens to be one of them. Did you bring me that? Thank you, Craig. This is a piece of that double wall construction I was just telling you about. Now, you notice here, this is where the guy was just beating on it a few minutes ago with a hammer. See that? Can you see those indentations there? But look out here on this side. That's smooth. That's toughness. Thank you, Craig. Now, all Chevy trucks feature that double wall construction. They have it in the side walls, the tailgate, the doors, fenders, the hood, all the places where you need some extra strength, a little better protection. Now, double wall is an excellent selling feature to tell a prospect about. Now, a lot of people that buy our trucks are in construction. And being in construction, they know a lot about how important it is to have a good foundation. Now, this is a Chevy truck foundation here. Now, this is a ladder-type frame. It's made out of tough carbon steel. Now, these side rails and these cross members are joined here and there for really maximum strength. Now, this truck can handle a very heavy load. Now, a lot of times pickup trucks, sometimes they have a light load, sometimes they have a heavy load. But no matter what the load, you want the truck to ride well. Now, to demonstrate why these trucks ride so well, I need some volunteers from out here in the audience. So I'm going to come over here and pick 6 of you people out. Let's see, I'll take this gentleman right here. I'll take you. I'll take this lady right back here. Just come on up. That's okay. Well, help me out here. I'll take this lady. I'll take the lady that was next to her. I'll take that lady, and I'll take this gentleman right over here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need one more. I'll take this gentleman right here. Thank you. Okay, just come right over here. That's terrific. You're doing that great. Just get right around here and line around. Now, what you want with your truck is when the truck is empty, you still want a nice, smooth ride. But now when your truck is loaded, you want it to have firm support. So we're going to show you how these two-stage springs, which is what the Chevy has in the back. It has two-stage springs back here. We're going to show you when they come into play and how they work. Now, let's see. If I'll take this gentleman right here, and you, sir, if you just sit right up here for me. Now, you're going to see the springs start to react a little bit. But now I want you to watch. Well, first of all, let's see now. You're about 200 pounds and you're about 185? Close enough, huh? So that's about 385 pounds, relatively light load. But now let's watch what happens when we really load it up. Could I get the rest of you just to come in here and sit down, please? Just kind of group around there. Watch yourselves. Okay. That's it. There you go. All in there. Now you can see how the second stage spring comes into play when it's loaded. Okay, now, if you'll just watch Mike, he's going to tell you how to get off, okay? And thank you very much. Now, you can see again the variable rate leaf springs compensate for the different load weights. Now, they're part of the reason that all Chevy pickups ride smoothly, whether they're loaded or empty. Now, selecting the right springs. Boy, that can just have make a terrific difference with your vehicle, with the vehicle's performance, and also with your customer satisfaction. Selecting those right springs. Now, use your Chevy truck facts book. Go to this book to help you choose the right springs. Just go in here and look to the proper tab settings, and it'll help you find the right springs. Remember to use your truck basics, and that'll show you how to use the Chevy truck facts book. Now, we're going to bring someone out here that's going to tell us about a few more features and show us and give us some demonstrations, and I want you to help me welcome. And we've brought down an assistant chief engineer from General Motors from the S&T truck body. Help me welcome Mr. Mike Hentgen. Hi, Mike. How are you?
Great.
Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, Mike, I've just been showing the people, as you follow me down here, I've just been telling them about the variable rate leaf springs that we have on the Chevy truck. And if you would, can you tell us something about spring matching?
Certainly. For one thing, you want to have the ride balance from side to side. Mm-hmm. You also want to have the truck level from side to side. So what we do is, because the springs have some variance in their manufacturing, we group them in 3 batches, so to speak, a high, a low, and a medium. Then when they're assembled on the truck, the lows always go together, the mediums go together, and the highs go together, so that you never have a mismatch side to side.
Oh, okay, so we're talking here about cab and box alignment.
Right.
All right, now since you opened that kettle of fish, so to speak, let's come down here with me and tell me, what is this? There are 2 of them here. What are these?
Okay, this is the one-piece pickup box and cab mounting bracket.
Okay, now what's the advantage of it being one piece?
Yes. Well, because it's one piece, it can hold the relationship of this mounting pad, which is for the pickup box, and the mounting pad for the cab very closely, so that the relationship of the pickup box and the cab is maintained so the appearance is good throughout the life of the truck.
Okay, so in other words, because it's not a 2-piece, you would never see one of our trucks leaning over to the side. It would always stay true.
That's
correct.
Alignment.
Okay, now what about these stamped embossments?
Okay, the embossments, as indicated here in black, are a way that the engineers can improve the strength of a flat panel without increasing its weight. Mm-hmm. It's called increasing the section modulus, and you do that to get strength in panels that have to carry high loads.
Okay, now is that pretty common on Chevy trucks?
Yes, it is. The back panels are done, the floor of the pickup box, the floor of vans, and so forth. Any place that has to carry a significant load.
Okay, terrific. Now I see you've got a little demonstration set up for me over here, right?
Yes.
Okay, make sure this is all aligned okay, Catherine? All right. Okay.
Okay, what we have here, Jordan, is 2 panels, the same thickness. One is plain and one is embossed or ribbed. If we take the plain panel and add this weight, you can see the deflection.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Let's do that on the ribbed panel.
All right, here, I'll pick this one up.
Okay.
Okay.
And we'll take that same weight, again remembering that they're the same thickness. The only difference is the embossments. You can see the deflections reduced significantly.
Okay, well now, obviously there's more to the toughness in this truck than just the embossments. So I got something else for you here, if I can get you to follow me around. Okay. Now, we've taken a door off this S10 here. Can you tell me something about this door frame?
Certainly. The door frame, which is indicated in red, is a single piece, made from a single piece panel, which means it's held dimensionally very accurate, and also there's no seams that would allow water or dust entry, and certainly would help keep the corrosion out of the rocker area.
Okay, and probably would help also with rust, I guess, so you're not getting water in.
That's right.
Okay, now what about these hinges? We got them painted yellow so they'll stick out here. What can you tell me about them?
All right, the hinges are welded-on hinges as opposed to being bolted on. And what that allows us to do is to have a very close control of the hinge in relation to the door frame and as a result to the outer door.
So now with the welded hinges and this one-piece door frame, the way we have it, that should account for really good margins, and you should get a nice tight fit with that door.
Exactly, which keeps things like wind noise at a minimum.
Oh, terrific. Okay, now corrosion protection. Everybody that's going to buy a new vehicle, they're always interested in corrosion protection. But in particular, people that buy trucks and work pickup trucks, they're really interested. So can you tell me, what do we have in this S10?
Okay, let's start back here on the chassis.
Okay.
The frame indicated here in gray is dipped in a hot melt wax, which protects it from corrosion for the life of the truck. You should never see any rust on your frame components.
Oh, that's terrific. Now what about the box? Body?
We use a lot of galvanized and zinc metal in the body panels.
What's zinc metal?
Zinc metal is a process by which we can add zinc to the inner surface of this panel, for example, which prohibits the corrosion coming from the inside out.
Okay, well now I notice we've got a little chart here. Let me bring this up if I can. I'll get this lined up for the camera. Dan, is that going to be good for you there? Okay. Now maybe you can kind of walk me through the steps of this corrosion protection here.
Okay, what I have here is two sections shown. One shows the more typical section that would be representative of the B-pillar or the roof or the hood or fender. The other section would be representative of the rocker area.
Right, okay.
Let me start with the more typical section, and
Okay.
this, the gray is the basic metal with the zinc metal coating as received from the steel mill.
Right.
We would get it in the assembly plant, coat it with the cathodic LPO primer, which is done electrically, so you get in all the crevices.
Right.
Put a primer surfacer on it, which is shown in green, and then cover that with a high solid enamel top coat.
Okay.
In this area, which is the stone impact section, are areas like the rocker panel.
Rocker panel area, right.
Same construction, same treatment, except we add what's shown here in purple, which is the anti-chip coating, which gives us very good anti-stone damage.
Okay. Well, now you've told me that this truck is, is probably pretty tough, but I'll bet you that there are people out there right now, I'll bet you $10 that they're saying things like, yeah, but is that truck really durable, that little truck?
A lot of people don't know that, but all of the trucks at General Motors run the same schedule. So the S10 runs the same durability schedule as a full-size pickup.
Okay, now by durability schedules, you mean toughness test?
Right. For example, this truck would run an equivalent of 124,000 miles of customer usage, and part of that schedule, in fact, includes a payload loading of 175% of the rating. For example, if it was a 1,000-pound rating,
Right.
part of our test would be run at 1,750 pounds in the pickup box.
Okay. Now, I know a lot of people say, okay, that's test, and they're tough and test on it, but how do they do really under work conditions? How do they hold up under work conditions?
Okay. The 124,000 miles that I mentioned is what we call a 99 percentile test. That means that if you monitored 100 people in the field and you picked the toughest customer loading, we run 124,000 miles of that customer's loading.
Okay, so you'd find you'd pick the guy that beats up a truck the worst, and he's the toughest on one,
That's
and that's
correct.
what you would test it to.
Yes.
Okay, well, Mike, I can see, based on what you guys put into these trucks, I can see why they do so well, not only in the test, but under actual work conditions. I want to thank you very much for bringing all this down. It's been very informative. Let's have a nice round of applause for Mike Epton. Terrific. Thank you very much, Mike. That's great. That's terrific. Okay, let's talk for just a minute about belts. Now, I don't mean these kind of belts. I'm talking about the belts in the engine there. Belts like on your fan, alternator, air conditioner. Now, I've got 3 belts here that came off of a 1986 S10 engine. Now, these belts, of course, they had the kind of periodic or routine maintenance, and then they had periodic replacement. Now, the important thing with belts is that they stay tight, because if they slip, then you can have a loss of power in your cooling or electrical systems. Well, your S10 customers can say goodbye to those problems, because new for 1987, replacing those multiple belts, is this new serpentine, the new serpentine belt design. Now, this one belt provides more positive traction to the components that it operates. And it also has an automatic device, that automatically adjusts the tension. Now, you can tell your customers that this belt is designed to last about 100,000 miles. That's what it's designed for. So you have one belt, more positive drive traction, automatically adjust, and last longer. There's something else new for 87. A 3-speed automatic transmission has been added to the S10 two-wheel drive models. Now that's automatic transmission at less cost. And this transmission, like most S10 transmissions, can be matched to the 2.5-liter Tech 4 or to the 2.8-liter V6 engines. That's an optional engine. Now, power teams, engines, transmissions, rear axle ratios are absolutely critical to any work pickup sale. So turn to your Chevy truck facts book under the proper tabs and find the information that you need to spec that truck. And remember that your truck basics will help take you through the entire process. Now, since we're talking about properly speccing a truck, let's go for a minute and talk about payloads, the payload rating. Now, a payload, that's the amount of weight that a truck can carry. Now, the S10 features a net payload rating of 1,000 pounds standard, optional 1,500 and 1,625 pounds net payload. Now, net payload is a terrific selling feature if you know how to use it. Now, I know you've all heard a lot of claims from these other truck manufacturers about their high payload ratings. Well, what they're talking about are gross payload ratings, which are reduced significantly by the weight of added options. Now, you tell your customers that S10's payload ratings are not reduced when you add options like a rear step bumper or air conditioning. S10's payload rating is a true rating that stands fast. Now, for just a minute, we're talking about the trucks. Let's go to the real heavyweights, to the full-size Chevy pickups. Now, this year, the models that you've known as the C and the K, they've been changed. We've got a new model designation. The C's, which are the two-wheel drive C models, they have become R's, and the four-wheel drive K models have now become V's. Now, that's... Whoa, ho! Don't cut that one up. No, go up and raise the hood. I have a drum roll, please. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to announce the power is back. The legendary 5.7-liter 350 V8 engine is back, and once again, it's available in all 10 series full-size Chevy pickups. And with the new electronic fuel injection, it has more power than ever before. Now, the full-size Chevy pickups, they really are the heavyweights, and they come in 3 series of payload ranges. You've got the half-ton 10 series, the 3/4-ton 20 series, and the 1-ton 30 series. Now, the 30 series in two-wheel drive, when properly equipped, it can haul a phenomenal 2 1/2 tons of gross payload. It can also tow up to 13,000 pounds. Now, that is it just makes these trucks the most diverse pickup line in the world. Let's take a look now at some of these trucks and the kinds of people that drive them. Can we roll that?
Works like a Chevy truck. Chevy 10 Series, the most popular pickup of all. It's also the biggest selling vehicle, car or truck, in the General Motors line. You'll sell a lot of 10 Series to contractors and tradesmen, electricians and carpenters. We call this truck the American workhorse. It can carry a full ton of cargo or equipment, and a special work-ready package teams the 5-liter V8 with a 4-speed manual transmission with deep load. This 4-speed has a special power takeoff provision to run auxiliary equipment. Now that's working tough.
Nothing works like a Chevy truck.
Big Dually is a work pickup with dual rear wheels, available in either 2 or 4-wheel drive. This 30 Series Big Dually is a 4-wheel drive monster that will handle about 4,500 pounds of payload. The available bonus cab model gives your customers 4 doors and room for things you wouldn't want to leave loose in the bed. The available crew cab adds a 3-passenger rear seat and can carry up to 6 people.
Nothing works like a Chevy truck.
Here's a 4x4 10 Series step-side. Probably the sportiest work truck anywhere. The fenders are outside the cargo bed for plenty of usable load space.
Nothing works like a Chevy truck.
Here's another hard-working pickup, a 20 Series 4-wheel drive model. It'll carry about 2 tons of cargo. A truck like this can move cargo and equipment into an area where they haven't cut a road yet.
Nothing works like a Chevy truck.
All right, let's hear it for those pickups, huh? Let's hear it for those trucks. Boy, that's terrific. Really terrific. Now this year, in addition to that 5.7-liter 350 V8, we've got another surprise for you under almost every hood of every Chevy truck. Now to tell us about that, we've brought an expert down here from General Motors Engineering, and I want you to help me give him a nice warm welcome, Mr. Volker Harhaus. Hi, Volker.
Hi.
How are you?
Nice to see you.
You come over here with me and have a seat. Let's see. Now, I understand that you people have something brand new for us this year.
Well, that's right, Jordan. I think by now we're all familiar with the Vortec 4.3-liter engine that we introduced in 1985, and it's been a real success for us. Now, for 1987, we're expanding the Vortec technology into the small block V8 engines. In addition to that, we'll take all the trucks and add electronic fuel injection to the basic engines.
Okay, now, I want to ask him, why the switch? Electronic fuel injection, isn't that something that would be more for performance cars than, say, pickups?
That's true. The fuel injection is a relatively new entry to pickup trucks. However, it has been used on passenger cars for quite a while and has earned an excellent reputation in the field. And now it's about time for us to take this reputation and add it to the pickup truck so the customer can enjoy all those benefits derived from fuel injection.
Okay. Now, I have some or all of the electronic fuel injection here. I'll have you tell me on this. Dan, if we can get in here real close. Now, this is the throttle body. Is that correct?
That is correct. In fact, this is the throttle body, the TBI unit, and here are the two injectors. These are the injectors that actually precisely measure the fuel to all driving conditions. However, the brain is actually over here. This is the ECM, or the electronic control module. It does all the controlling. It for instance, controls idle speed. When you turn your power steering, the load changes, but the speed stays the same. Or you switch on the air conditioning. Again, the ECM will take over and control the speed to a precise controlled speed. However, also, when you take this truck and take it up in altitude, the ECM knows that the altitude has changed, and it'll take corrective action for fuel and spark, so the drivability at altitude will be maintained.
Okay, so then the customer should notice a real difference in the performance of his truck because of these new features, right?
Well, there's no doubt about it. I guess we've all been living with the idiosyncrasies of some of the carburetors today. For instance, vapor lock. It's a common occurrence on some of the high altitude applications or in the hot weather. Customers are familiar with that. Now with fuel injection and the pressurized fuel system, it's gone. That is behind us. Also, you probably, and you people in the audience, have experienced dieseling. You go to the shopping center, turn the key off, and the darn thing won't quit.
Still runs.
With fuel injection, it's gone, guaranteed to be gone. In fact, the ECM, the electronic brain, is so smart that it'll be able to correct for the high altitude, low altitude, the hot environment, and the cold environment. It's perfect under every driving condition.
Well, boy, it sounds fantastic, but now I want to ask you a question I'm sure a lot of people out there are probably wondering. Is it complicated?
Well, I tell you, simplicity and reliability are the big features we're pushing for 1987. In fact, I brought a couple of engines here with me, and let me show you what I'm talking about.
All right. Thank you, Craig. All right. This is the carbureted guy.
Here, for instance, you see the carbureted engine, and if you focus in on it, it looks like a rat's nest, all those hoses around it. Now, let me take the air cleaner off.
Okay.
I'm going to make all these disconnects here. There's one here, there's another one here, and one more, and I think there's one more.
Okay.
Now, we take this off, and it actually, now you're looking at a pretty complicated carburetor. All those levers, rods, vacuum brakes, and things like that. Actually, a pretty complicated piece of machinery here.
Okay.
Now, let's take a look over at the fuel-injected engine.
All right. Let's lay that up there.
Just by looking at it, you see it's a pretty clean-looking machine. Now, let me take the air cleaner off.
Okay, get the little butterfly nut off there.
All right. Just one hose to disconnect, and away comes the air cleaner. And you're looking at an engine that looks like a 1965 engine. Hardly any more hoses left there, and here is the TBI unit. There's no screws on this thing, nothing, no rods and levers that you can see anymore, and nothing to adjust. It's a factory adjusted, and nothing you can adjust afterwards anymore.
Well, I can see where it looks like this would be a lot easier to service.
Yeah, the appearance confirms that, but also we've added another feature. Let me take you back to the ECM unit. Now, you probably experienced with your carburetor that your truck or passenger car did something funny. You went to the dealer to show him, and it wouldn't repeat it.
Right.
So your dealer couldn't really do very much for you. Now, in the case of the TBI unit with the ECM has diagnostic features built into it. And what it really does, it'll diagnose a malfunctioning component. So when you come back to the dealer, the mechanic is now able to quiz the ECM and find out what really went wrong, go right down to the malfunctioning component, replace it, and you're on your way. The problem has been eliminated. So that is really an added simple feature.
Oh, it's amazing. That really is amazing. But you know what I want to do for a minute? I want to get back to the performance.
All right.
I want to talk about that power and that 5.7, okay? Now, I haven't driven one yet, but I know you've already tested one. Yeah, I know you have. Now, I just want you to tell me, can you really tell a difference, you know, in the power, the performance?
Actually, the performance for all our engines is going to be up for 1987. But the pride and joy for 87 is our 5.7-liter engine. With the electronic fuel injection and the Vortec technology, we were able to take it from 165 horsepower all the way to about 200 horsepower. Now, if you get into one of those trucks and you do 0 to 60 in better 10 seconds, you get the performance. But have no fear. The other thing that might occur is that your fuel economy has gone down, a common thing we've done. However, the Vortec technology that we've taken from the 4.3-liter engine and brought into this V8 actually has allowed us to increase the fuel economy. So you have the improved performance and the fuel economy going hand in hand. Now, if that's not exciting, I don't know.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you, Volker. In fact, I can see where that the electronic fuel injection is going to be a big selling feature for 1987. Yeah.
You got it right.
Okay, now, Volker, I want to thank you very much, particularly for bringing these two engines down here and taking your time to spend with us and give us this information.
It's been a
Let's have
pleasure.
a nice round of applause for Volker Harhaus, huh? That's terrific. Terrific. Oh. Now, you know, the Chevy engines are one of the biggest selling advantages in selling the full-size Chevy trucks. In fact, these engines, I mean, it's all the way from the powerful 4.3-liter Vortec V6 up to a variety of V8s, all the way to the 6.2-liter, 7.4-liter powerhouses. There's just no other truck company that can give you more choices of power teams than Chevrolet. Now, product knowledge will give you the power to sell the power in the Chevy trucks. Now, these shows and your library of truck knowledge should tell you everything that you need to know so you can go out and sell more trucks in 1987. The details are all there to help you properly spec a truck. Now, that, combined with selling toughness, durability, and dependability, is the way to sell a work pickup. You do that, and you're going to be rolling in truck sales in 1987. Thank you very much.
Everywhere they're going, those Chevy trucks keep rolling with pride. Hauling, carrying, or towing, you'll take pride in knowing Chevy trucks are working by your side. Drive them in, load them up, all the way, move them out. Trucking with Chevy pride. Get them in, take a look, spec them out, try them out. Trucking with Chevy.